What we have here is the brand new 2025 Honda NC750 with some delightful upgrades. Famously, the NC is an easy, economical commuter, and the 2025 model is designed to do that even better. Instead of just riding it to work and back, we decided to give it a real test. According to Honda, it has a range of 400 kilometers on a tank. Some of my friends who own the previous model say that even that is a bit of a push. So, because we are stupidly ambitious, we decided to do not 400 kilometers, but 500 kilometers on a 14.1 litre tank. We would leave Kempton Park and travel to a friend in Limpopo, roughly 250 kilometers away, and then ride back on one tank. But first, before we start, one of the most famous things about the NC750 is the fact that it's got a little bucky, or a boot if you're English, over here where the tank would normally go. Tank is actually under the seat. Now, people like Glenn and other sort of clever people told me I should go and pack like extra fuel and like a tow rope and like some tools and clever stuff, but quite frankly I think all of that is for the weak. So instead of that, I'm packing something even more essential, which is cans of Red Bull. So I bought 20 cans of Red Bull, and well, it's not enough. I thought it would fill it, but this thing is bigger than I thought it would be, so maybe I will take the odd tow rope fuel thingy-mabob. Well, at least I got enough Red Bull to last me the journey there. Obviously I'll have to top up when I get there. With the necessities on board, we stopped at a nearby garage and made jolly sure that the tank was completely brimmed. We then zeroed the trip meter and set off into the unknown, leaving the calm streets of Kempton and clubbing the freeway economically. So here we go, we're busy leaving Joburg, well, Kempton Park, Joburg. We're headed to Pretoria. So far so good. Yeah, I have no idea what sort of economy I'm doing right now. No idea. We went through a bit of traffic earlier, that was kind of fun. And I have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not sure kind of where my fuel economy is. I mean, maybe I'm using way too much. I don't actually know yet. It hasn't got a range. It has got this over here, which is sort of it tells you what your liters per 100 kilometer. I don't know, why do people use liters per 100 kilometers? Surely just kilometer per liter works well. I've got 40 liters, I need to achieve this. In fact, I need to achieve 34 kilometers per liter in order to do 500 kilometers. Well, it's 33, sorry. In order to do 500 kilometers on 14.1 liters that this thing has. Anyway, here we go. We're going over this interchange here. This is Signals Pretoria. There's a guy trying to cut in front of me. That's okay. I'm just going to go around this guy. So far, so good as far as traffic goes. You can see, so we got traffic. I mean, there's a lot of cars on this freeway, but they're all kind of moving, and they're moving at a decent enough pace. So it only becomes a bit of a problem when they all come to a standstill, and then we have to go a lot slower through there, and going slower means you got to speed up and you start varying the throttle a little bit, and that's where sort of problems come in. This speed is perfect. Part of the upgrade of the NC750 is a new TFT dash that is both easy to use and quite helpful. We are 37.4 kilometers, which is not a lot. We've still got a long way to go. We're going to get to 500 kilometers on this tank of fuel. Now, what this thing has, if you look over here, it has there, it's got this little, so let's say the liters per 100 kilometers, and I'll sort of leave it on there. And now you'll see there, so it's sort of bobbing. All the way to the right there is 4, which is 25 kilometers a litre, so 4 litres per 100 kilometre. Now you get to the uphills like this one. Hello, look there, people on bikes having fun. Hi. Anyway, so we get over here, and when you get to the uphills, there you can see it gets sort of all the way across to kind of
halfway between, you know, kind of the 2/3 over there. So a third of the way down, that would be 33 kilometers per litre, and half would be 50 kilometers per litre. Now I want to average 33. So it goes a bit bad. I can get down to 25 kilometers per litre on some of these uphills, but now I'm starting to go on a downhill. Look here, it goes all the way down to 50 kilometers. So I'm kind of hoping if I sit at this kind of speed, it kind of averages out, you know. It's going to become less hilly as we go into Limpopo. It becomes a lot flatter. I hope that helps too. But there's also quite a lot of wind. I can see some of the trees here, they're moving along, so the wind's going to make a difference too. Once again, I have no idea how we're doing. I mean, right now, there, look on the dash, it says Eco. The little green there, it says Eco. But Eco, what Eco? Is 25 kilometers per litre are brilliant. I mean, that's brilliant for any vehicle. So maybe for them that's good enough, but it's not good enough for us. We're going to run out of petrol. This is all so confusing. I'm actually stressed out.
Eventually, the busy freeway through Pretoria petered out, and we were in the clear, and it was then that we could concentrate more on the bike.
So yeah, the NC750, originally it was the NC700 years and years ago, which was on my personal list of worst motorbikes I've ever ridden, genuinely, and this made a lot of people very upset, because a lot of people for some reason really liked it. I just did not. That original 700 was appallingly boring. Honestly, it had no soul, it had nothing in it. It was merely it's an object to get around, it's a tool to move you around. It had nothing to it, you know. It was not exciting, it was heavy, it was boring to look at it. Well, it was sort of cheapish, but not that cheap. It was just no kind of redeeming features. It was sort of the Toyota Corolla of the motorcycle world. It's just, yeah. Since then, they've had a few iterations since then. It's become a 750. And by the way, originally they said, although Honda denies this, but we're just going to keep it going because it's fun, the original NC700 was a Honda Jazz motor, 1.4 Honda Jazz cut in half. So 2 cylinders of a 4-cylinder Honda Jazz. Fair enough, why not? Now it's a 750. It has had a lot of changes. And to Honda's credit, most of the time when they make changes to this bike, or when they do upgrades, it's to make it more interesting. And the bike has become a lot more fun, a lot more interesting. When you open the throttle, I mean, it's not the fastest bike in the world, but it works, you know, it goes. And it makes a much nicer sound, and there's more, and it looks better, and there's more sort of fancy gizmos. And it's just a bike you're kind of prouder to own. That's sort of it. Where the original one you sort of hide around somewhere because, well, what about it? There's nothing about it. This bike you can show proudly. Yeah, this is my bike. It's my NC750. And this latest one more so. It's also, again, oops, I've lost my eco badge there for a second. And this one too is just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun, a little bit more everything. And so far so good.
This NC, similar to the last one, has a 745cc parallel twin motor with the cylinders banked forward to make the bike lower and allow for more luggage space. It pushes 58 horsepower and 69 Nm of torque, which is similar to the previous model, except it now complies with Euro 5+. The mapping has also been recalibrated for better mid-range torque, something that should help us on our eco quest. This specific NC version is a manual, selling for a tidy sum of 150,749 Rand. Or you can have the DCT Auto version for 162,599 Rand. Now that we were out of town, I was enjoying some sightseeing.
Coming up over here, it's a famous Petro Port, yes. It was built ages ago, and what was so cool about it is it's literally a restaurant on a bridge. Yeah, you can see it coming up. And I remember being a little kid, you used to go and have Wimpy there. And oh my goodness me, you used to eat your Wimpy burger while the cars are going under the bridge. Isn't that exciting? It's obviously a petrol station, which we don't need. Let's check where we are now. So we've done 56 kilometers. My fuel gauge still says full, so I guess we're okay. Yeah, there's a turnoff for the old carousel. Huge casino built out sort of in Limpopo and closed down. Apparently now it's just this giant building in the middle of absolutely nowhere with these massive parking lots. It's just sitting there derelict. You can't get in there, it's all closed. Maybe we should sneak in one day. That could be fun. So I need to point out, you'll notice that we're doing this vlog style. There's not an official cameraman. I've got Sean right along with me. I think you can just see him over there. Hello Sean, he's on the NX500 and he's coming along, but no official photographer, because we kind of suggested this. We're like, hey, this is a cool idea, let's try and do this, and he said no, that sounds ridiculously boring, I'd rather kill myself. So anyway, here we are vlogging.
While the NC was still running beautifully on what was hopefully fumes, some things were starting to stand out.
Okay, now that we've kind of been here a little while, I can talk a little bit more about this motorbike. So there are two things missing that I'd rather wish were not missing on that. The first one is cruise control. I mean, imagine this now, just kind of choose a good enough speed, you kind of hook onto that speed, and then, you know, life would be a lot easier instead of sitting here kind of trying to keep my throttle steady the whole time and all of that. But now I understand this is not really actually a traveling motorcycle, this is a commuter. It's made for getting to work and back nice and cheaply and easily. So I kind of understand that. I mean, cruise control's it's a fair old thing to develop. It'll add to the price of the bike, and maybe yeah, okay, most people buying this bike can live without it. I just wish I had it right now. One thing that is missing that is unforgivable, Honda. Where is a USB charger? Where is a socket? Where is anything? There is no means of charging anything on this motorcycle. And I mean, I would love to have this camera that I'm talking to charged now. I'd love to have my phone charging for a bit. It just adds a bit of stress that you don't need to. I mean, there are Chinese bikes, little Chinese delivery bikes that have got chargers. My hero, Ferrari, it's got a USB charger. Yeah, so come on Honda, get with it. Add a charger.
As far as fuel goes, things were looking up.
Okay, here we go. We're about to clock over to 100 kilometers. Right about as we go past Rust of Winter. There we go. Yeah, so far so good. We're 100 kilometers. I still feel good. So if you look over there, the bottom left of the screen, bottom right of the screen, that is our average now for the trip so far, 2.9 litres per kilometer, which is actually right. We need to be on about 3 in order to make this whole entire journey, or to do 500 kilometers. And so far that's okay. A bit worryingly, it was on 2.8, it's now gone up to 2.9, and this is why we're kind of just cruising on the freeway. But it's going to get a bit hairier later. We're going to be going through Nellstrom. Well, it's now called Monimole. A lot of people still call it Nellstrom. That's going to suck up a bit of petrol. And then we're going to go through the Waterberg Mountains. That's going to suck up petrol. So now on the freeway, we're fine. We'll just have to see how much petrol that sucks up. But more good news is if you look at the fuel gauge, it hasn't even ticked over once. But mind you, the way a fuel gauge works is so your fuel tank is sort of that big. The fuel gauge kind of measures that. So, you know, on each side, so you've got a little bit of spare. So it'll take long, the first tick is the longest, then it goes a bit quicker after that. And then obviously, even when it reaches completely zero, there is a bit of reserve under that. So let's see how this goes. Here we go. I think these are more policemen. Look at them. Hello, policeman. You're not going to pull me over today. No.
It was at that point that we eventually took the turn off to Modimole to find out how the NC did on not freeway roads.
Yeah, so here we go. We're off the freeway now. Look at some of this weird stuff. Look at this weird castle place. I believe that's where they auction off animals and things. If you look at this road, I mean, they are busy rebuilding it, so obviously big plans for Modimole. Yeah, nice big double road. Won't that be nice? Because I'm going to be honest, this road now that I'm on, this little single road, is rather terrible. And this bike isn't exactly soaking up these bumps the way I'd hoped. Mind you, I've been in the seat for a while now. What are we going? Getting on to 2 hours now in this seat. And it's starting to feel a bit hard, and these bumps are kind of taking their toll a little bit. Yeah. Then again, you kind of know this NC doesn't have the most sophisticated suspension. Suspension's expensive. Really, honestly, you know, of all the things on a motorcycle, just a mild upgraded suspension is a huge cost. So yeah, on bikes I guess they do. They keep it simple. It works enough and it knocks 40 grand off the price. Would I rather have absolutely plush suspension or 40 grand more? I can take it. I can take it. Although this is quite bumpy. Okay, so here we go. This is what the town that used to be called Nalstrom, now called Modimolle. I don't know what Modimolle means. Something good, I hope. Okay, here's the problem. On the freeway, I can sit at a constant sort of speed. I can monitor my throttle. I can monitor my usage. In town, it gets more difficult because, yeah, you got to keep open. You got to keep accelerating. That's the problem. So here's the stop street. I've got to stop now. It's on camera after all. Come to a stop, and then watch. Even see, I'm using a tiny bit of throttle, and look, it uses a dreadful amounts of fuel. So we're going to get through this town, and then after that I'm going to go over the Waterberg Mountains. That's also going to use a lot of fuel. Because so far the freeway trip looks like it's worked. It looks like it's been okay. But, yeah, how much fuel is this going to use? Yeah.
The freeway was easy because you just watched the throttle position. In town and on country roads, that became a mission. An often embarrassing mission.
So here we go, outside of Nalstra, well, Modimolle now, and there's a whole lot of really nice corners over here, really great fun to play with, except that I'm kind of bound by not using fuel, and also these are quite uphill, so in fact, while these corners might be fun for some, for me they're just hazardous. I'm actually holding up a car behind me, sorry buddy. Doesn't look good. I'm letting all the motorcyclists down. I want to open the throttle, but I can't. Look at this guy. He's got a trailer. Oh, no. 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 This feels so wrong. With a boat.
And after crawling over the Waterberg Mountains, we eventually made our destination.
Here we are, finally. We're at Jugamura Predator Park, which is our destination. Well, it's not actually our destination, it's halfway. It's halfway, but it's good. It's good. It's good. It's like being in Jurassic Park. I should get a new job.
Despite giraffes and bucks, Jugamura is mostly known for its big cats, mostly lions and tigers. It's run by ex-motorcycle racer and all-round good oak, Justin Fernandez, and his mother. It was a great halfway destination, and an even better lunch stop. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, this is halfway, okay? First of all, I just got to tell you, part of the reason we come here is to say hello to Justin. The other part is to see the kitty cats, but mostly he serves us big plates of meat. Nothing better. Okay, as far as the ride goes, it's a bit tricky. That last section after Nalstra Modimolle really took it out. I mean, I had to use a lot more throttle the whole way there. I don't know, it's the uphills, the bumpy roads. I'm not sure what it was. That used a lot. And I thought we were ahead, but as we got here, the fuel gauge clicked over into half. So we are kind of half, so we're sort of edgy. So if anything goes wrong on the way back, I think we might be in a spot of trouble. But anyway, big plate of meat, and then let's see what happens. With the fuel gauge just ominously clicking onto half, we set off again for the trip home. It sounded simple enough, just do the same thing home. Except as the afternoon progressed, the wind picked up, as did the traffic. We made our way back through Modimolle and back onto the freeway, but it was still tricky going. The wind had picked up even more, and the traffic was piling in further as the cold came creeping in. It became difficult to maintain the same momentum and keep the same patience. As the fuel gauge dropped even more rapidly, doubt started entering our already tortured minds.
Right, the conquering heroes return. Let's go and see. Now that was a long, long day. Let's hear what Donovan has to say. Right, so Faree, I have to ask you a question. Was that a long day or what?
I can't think at the moment.
Are you still vibrating a little bit?
I'm vibrating so much. I'm at one with the universe. You know, there's the universal vibration.
Come on, I'm dying to see. On one tank, you've got 469.2.
And there's still some mileage there. I said 500. We just run out of time. I've got to go pick someone up from the airport now.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to take it out to the tire launch. They're having a tire launch at the track, so I should be. Is the 2 litre still in there? I want to see the evidence.
Is the what?
Is the 2 litre of fuel still in the cubby there?
We didn't actually fill it in the end.
You're very brave,
I know,
but you didn't run out of fuel. So this NC, ladies and gentlemen, this NC750 has done. How many Ks are still empty? All right, that's
well,
cool.
that's not petrol in there.
Well, well done, mate. Tell us where you went today. So from here,
from here, my friends. I've got a camera in my face.
that's all right. Yeah.
Things you do for your job. So we went from here to my mate's farm in Volvaart in Limpopo.
Yeah.
He's got lions and tigers, and he makes the really.
You told us about all of this. We can see that the suspension is sagging a little bit now.
Yes, and
where is it? So from here to
Volvaart
and back again.
Back again. That's it.
That's it. So we are 10 minutes from Joburg International Airport. Ladies and gentlemen, it's true what they say. 14 litres, eh? This is 14.1 litres on the new NC750. Please turn the ignition on one more time. And in one foul swoop, with Donovan in the saddle and without being offensive, Donovan is not the skinniest person we know. So a normal sized person, you get... Where's the mileage gone?
Hang on. Damn you, Honda.
And tell me, what mode did you use? Eco mode the whole way?
Well, it doesn't have an eco mode. It's got a rain mode.
All right, 470 kilometers, 469.2.
Yeah. You can see that it's flashy on reserve.
I will.
It probably has another 20 k's left.
All right. Well, look, Dion and I are going to the tire launch tomorrow, and we will absolutely finish it up. Your final word. How does it feel as a road tourer?
It's Look, this is a commuter.
Yes.
It is a better commuter than a tourer. The suspension's a little bit, it's, to a budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, when on the freeway, it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
We went off the freeway and the road started becoming bumpy, and it is a bit. It's just the suspension's not.
It's basic suspension.
It's quite basic suspension, so it can hydraulic quite a lot. So in terms of long-term touring and all that kind of thing, but that's not what this is. This is it's built to a budget because you don't. They can put better suspension.
It's going to cost you 20 grand.
That's to the price. Yeah. So for what it's made for, it's perfect. I don't want to do 500 kilometers around Joburg. It'll take four years, and I'll probably die 3 times. So what we did, perfect. And I mean, this people said to me, you can't do 500 kilometers on one tank, and
we just about have. So my job this weekend is to try and find you another 40 kilometers. How does that sound?
Sure. Good luck with that.
Let's see how we go.